Let's proceed to our first quotation. Too long playing records, and a current book goes to Mrs. A.C. Reed of Victoria, British Columbia, for the following. See if you can identify the author. There are countries so underdeveloped today that the gift of independence is like the gift of a razor to a child. Let me repeat that. There are countries so underdeveloped today that the gift of independence is like the gift of a razor to a child. Who said it?
Oh, that would, that sounds like, Cranbourne.
Cranbourne? No, Mr. Callahan. Our author says that he has more trouble giving away money than making it. He's made a great deal. Does this tell you anything about him? Getting a peerage has been a great ambition in his life, and he managed to achieve it before he was 38, when he was 38.
Oh, Lord Beaverbrook?
Lord Beaverbrook. That gave it away, didn't
That certainly did.
Well, is he the idiot that made that statement?
Is it
about
an idiotic
oh, absolutely idiotic. But I would not expect anything better from Lord Beaverbrook.
Mr. Dewhurst?
Oh, I don't know. I don't agree at all, Ben. I think it's absolutely true. In fact, there are so few countries that have, having been given so-called independence, that know how to use it, that if you look at Africa, or particularly the Middle East, you find them almost all now ruled by cliques of colonels. And everyone knows that a colonel is a fool, and therefore they're paying for their folly.
You see, the only difficulty with that, just a minute, Brendan, I want to
the real interest that you would have in it is that there are a great number of people in England who live very dull suburbs, and they lead a rather dull and rather mean existence. They eat horrible food. They eat sort of toad in the hole and glad to get it. And they suddenly arrive in Africa and in India, and they get themselves very good jobs. And through the power of arms and armament, and by no other power or by no other right, the British in Africa are just the same as the Germans in Poland or in Czechoslovakia.
Mr. Callahan and then Mr. Olatunji.
Just a minute now. The difficulty about this business of a nation not being ready for independence usually means that the decision is in the hands of somebody else, you see, not in the hands of the people. Now, when you say... look, just a minute. When you say so-and-so is not ready for independence, that means you think he's not ready.
That's right.
That's right.
Now, that's all there is to it. And usually it's a protector nation. A protector nation.
Brendan agrees with me that or Southern Ireland, was not ready for independence.
I don't know. I don't know. What do you mean by Southern Ireland?
Now, before you answer, Mr. Dewhurst,
I would say, Mr. Dewhurst, that if you were attempting to speak French, that you would make an attempt.
Gentlemen, Mr. Olatunji. No, Mr. Behan.
In English happens to be Ireland.
Mr. Olatunji.
I have so many, I've heard many people say the same thing, put the same quotation in many words. But I just want to know, who can tell me, who can tell, or actually explain the yardstick of who is ready and when.
Yes, that's the point.
This is most important. Underdeveloped countries, how long are they going to remain underdeveloped? Who helped them to remain underdeveloped? Or there are so many imponderables.
Well, I think that in a great many cases, although Mr. Behan won't agree with me, that it was the English that were responsible for leaving great civilizations behind them when they left. For instance, India. You may say we ruled that with a rod of iron and so forth, but we didn't, in fact. We left a decent civil service, a decent army, decent foreign relations, friends. Mr. Near is a friend of ours. The King and Queen have been out there. What's wrong with Indian friends?
Well, I would say about India that in England itself, I would say, first of all, that whose opinion do we usually get? Homespun philosophers like Beaverbrook will put forward this type of shoddy, this sort of shoddy thought. Trust the man on the spot, the old China hand or the old African hand. What is the old African hand except some unfortunate fellow who was not able to make a living in England selling vacuum cleaners or something of the sort.
But you keep getting back to England.
Yeah, well, to India. Germany's colonies during the war, or the countries of Germany invaded, such as Poland and Czechoslovakia. She sent very nice Wimbledon types like Eichmann. And for the first time in their life, these people had servants. Now, I happen to like a certain cultivated, cynical society in London, and I don't know whether you would be acquainted with any of the people I know there.
But we inhabit the same area.
I have a suspicion.
You never go down the dock area?
No, I sometimes go.
Aren't we really?
But the point of the matter is that you're supposed to this statement by Beaverbrook about when a nation is ready for independence. Naturally, the Germans said the Poles shouldn't have their independence. Naturally, the English and also some Irish people in Africa, they say that the natives are not ready for independence yet. But they have always said every imperialist country has always said.
No,
Mr. Callahan and then Mr. Olatunji.
Look, I'm not interested in what you boys did in London, or whether you inhabit the same area or not. The question is, does an imperial power, possessing power, ever do anything for a country?
Yeah.
And I doubt very much that there's any record of it ever having done so.
Well, what did the Romans and the Greeks do?
Well, the Romans, when the Roman power withdrew, the countries all fell to pieces. That's what they did for the individual countries.
Well, when they left England, what happened when the Romans left?
The point is that there's practically the civilization, whatever it was, there was in England, collapsed. Well, the highways, grass grew over the highways all across Europe after the collapse of the Roman Empire. The thing is that the job of every occupying power is to see that the people do not develop a spirit of independence. Why did Caesar keep going into Gaul? He licked the Gauls again and again and again, and he was always back licking them.
So that, Mr. O'Connor, I simply like to draw up an analogy. It's just like when a child is being born. Regardless of who is the father or the mother, if this baby is not taken care of, if it's not given milk, if it's not given shelter, if it's not taken care of, probably by force of circumstances, either by nature or some other way, this child probably will die. He probably will have become any great writer, any great president, or any great military man, as we know in history. So this analogy fits into the position of these great powers in many other places. Are they really, or did they have the intention of preparing these people for independence, whether it's in Africa, Asia, or India? So we found out in history that wasn't the end, because in the early 17th